How should Shedeur feel about this?
Look, Shedeur has not, as much as I like him, and I'm the Shedeur guy on this show, he has not earned the right at this point to feel any way other than I got to compete. Like, I have to compete. I have to go out there and win this job. Whether they bring in Malik Willis, they draft Ty Simpson or whoever, or it's me and Dylan Gabriel and maybe Deshaun Watson, I have got to compete. Now, I think he will get a fair shot this year. Outside looking in, I don't think Stefanski was high on him. He obviously let him play at the end of the year, but I think Monken will give him a much more fair shot than Stefanski did. I think if, he'll watch Shedeur, and if he outplays guys in training camp, he'll get the job, and they'll craft the offense around his strengths. So I think that's the best he can hope for. He didn't get drafted first like Cam Ward. All right? He didn't light it up. He had the great game against Cam Ward in Tennessee, but overall in those 7 games or whatever it was, he didn't light it up. His numbers are pretty dreadful, but he showed you enough flashes that with a coach that believes in him, with an offense that gives him a shot, I think he definitely deserves a chance to start and earn that job in training camp. So I think that's the most he can hope for. I do want to say something about Deshaun Watson, but if you want to go first, Nick, on Shedeur.
No, go, bro. Go ahead.
I just think that's interesting. Like, Deshaun Watson is, I think, 30 years old. We all know how great he was with the Texans. We all know what he went through off the field, and none of us obviously condone that. But, hey, the league has, I'm not judging the guy's character. I wonder, can he still play? Like, he wasn't good for the Browns in those games that he played. But why, if I'm paying him already, though, Nick, I'm just wondering, do I give him a legitimate shot?
And he popped his Achilles. Like, he wasn't good, all the off-the-field stuff, and he popped his Achilles.
The article we're citing has said he looked great in the time, last year when he kind of came back in practice. So I'm just saying, I would maybe be open to that if I'm the Browns, at least seeing what he can do.
So I think it is very hard to handicap what the Browns are going to do at quarterback, because the common denominator in the malfeasance by that organization at that position is the one guy who's always going to be there, and the owner. And so I think that the owner wanted them to trade for him, wanted them to give him that contract, and so he might say, hey, ties go to Watson. I believe Deshaun Watson's career as an NFL starting quarterback is over, so he's not even working into my math on this. To answer this direct question, I agree with the first part you said exactly, Brew, which is Shedeur should, if he feels anything other than motivated by anything that happened this offseason, it's the wrong emotion. Like, he has not earned incumbency against anyone they could bring in. He's maybe earned incumbency versus Dylan Gabriel, and that's close, but I would give it to Shedeur. But they are probably bringing someone in. But these are two very different options, KW, as far as what it means for Shedeur. There are two things the Browns can do, in my opinion, that give Shedeur almost close to zero chance of being the week 1 starter. One is, if they draft a quarterback in the first round, that guy is the guy they want to be the starter. Ty Simpson is not that, I don't believe. The other is giving Malik Willis a bunch of money. If they draft a quarterback in round 1 or sign Malik Willis, that guy is their quarterback. Anybody that is drafted after round 1, which is what I think Ty Simpson would be, that's an open competition with Shedeur that Shedeur has the experience edge in.
Yeah, that's pretty much my take. I mean, you pay for Malik Willis, you're going to have to pay like $100 million essentially for him, or around that number. He's your quarter. I mean, if they go out and get Malik Willis, they are saying he is our starting quarterback. And if you draft Ty Simpson in the first round, maybe even the second round, you're saying this is the guy who we believe is going to be our quarterback. You're not going to draft him, a quarterback in the second round, and it's just an open competition between him and Shedeur. Like that's just not typically how things unfold, and that's not good business either, quite frankly. Make no mistake about it. The Philadelphia Eagles wanted to keep Carson Wentz. They absolutely wanted to keep Carson Wentz. That was the plan. That's why they fired Doug Peterson. Like the plan was for them. It was not to have now Jalen Hurts take over. That was not the plan. So it's an interesting situation. Now, I'm not saying that Shedeur has earned anything, right? Because it's the foundation of sports is his competition, right? It's not there's no sense of kind of equality or this or that. It's just if you ball, you ball. If you can play, right? If you earn the spot on the field, you earn the spot on the field. I always say this, if even someone like Patrick Mahomes, who's won all these rings, have all this success, if this season he throws 10 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, people are going like, wow, that was a terrible season. And the next season he does it again, he's getting benched, man. Like, it's just that's just the way it works. Heck, if he starts this season and he's throwing nothing but interceptions, has 40% completion percentage, he's getting benched. They're like, we don't really know what's going on. Hopefully, this is just something's going on, but it's just the way it works. No matter who you are. So, certainly Shedeur Sanders doesn't have this solidified undeniable starting spot in the NFL. But if I'm going to answer this question very directly, right, how should Shedeur feel about this? To me, the answer is uncomfortable, because it does mean that the organization is not already saying, hey, we believe that we can kind of build Shedeur and we're going to do everything we can to support him. You go out and spend money on Malik Willis. Again, you were all but saying no on Shedeur. If you go out and now waste a high draft pick on Ty Simpson, you are now saying, yeah, we were kind of actually leaning more on Ty Simpson because instead we're drafting another quarterback rather than drafting, name the position you want. Name what? Wherever you think is an important person. A second-round pick is valuable. A first-round pick is valuable, obviously. And where the Browns draft as well. Like, based on this draft alone, if they believe in Shedeur, they can do some damage this draft. They can do some damage for sure. For sure. So, I think you're uncomfortable. And it's seemingly the way how Shedeur talked before, you kind of got the sense that he was confident with his standing within the Cleveland Browns organization, right? That they're going to be moving forward with him. At the very least, he's going to get this year even the coach is like, we wanted to draft you, right? And all this type of stuff. You start making decisions like this, you start to get, that's why I said uncomfortable, kind of just like, and I don't mean uncomfortable in terms of like uncomfortable right now he's like insecure, but like uncomfortable, it's like, okay, like this is, this is not solidified, this is not, that the Cleveland Browns are not spending these next few months figuring out how do we optimize Shedeur Sanders. How do we build this team in a way that enhances Shedeur? That's not what they're doing. Think about even someone like a Caleb Williams. First overall pick. Had a decent year his rookie year. Obviously not amazing, but not terrible either. Ben Johnson, new coach, gets in there. If you heard that they were going to draft a quarterback even in the second round, even if it was exactly Ty Simpson in the second round, you'd be like, what? That's what you be like, wait, what? Huh. And if they then were, it's hard to think of an example of a Malik Willis, because I don't know if there really was one. Last we could say Sam Darnold, but I think Malik Willis, weirdly enough, because of Sam Darnold has more because of what we saw with Sam Darnold, I think there's more optimism. I think people would be more excited and optimistic to sign a Malik Willis or even A.M. Jones, than even a Sam Darnold got with the Seattle Seahawks because of what Sam Darnold did. Remember that move with the Seahawks was not widely celebrated, right? Like in fact, a lot of people questioned it and doubted it. But if Ben Johnson was like, okay, we're going to get Sam Darnold and we're going to pay him $60 million. People would be like, what? Like, not even the $UND00 million, even though just 60 were signing him for 2 years, $60 million. People would be like, what does that say about Caleb? And now I think it's fair to say that Shedeur Sanders sees himself as a legitimate bona fide top starting quarterback in the NFL. Probably sees that he is Caleb Williams. That's why I'm using Caleb as a reference point. So that's why it's like, how should Shedeur feel? Well, then it would be kind of uncomfortable, like, huh? That's the way I'm looking at it. Not saying what should be or what shouldn't be or what you earn and this and that, and he hasn't. It's just like how should feel. He feels he is a starting quarterback. He feels that he can be a legitimate top quarterback in the NFL if you're looking to now draft a quarterback or pay a sizable amount of money for another quarterback. It's a weird place to be in, and it's an uncomfortable place to be in. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns? How do you think Shedeur should feel about the off-season conversations? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get to some discussions. Let's get to some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Subject that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.